We continue to stay with the Pahalgam terror attack story and its aftermath. Families of the victims continue to grieve, and so does India. Grief, sadness, anger, all emotions are being felt in equal measure. The largest sentiment echoing right now, though, is that of retaliation. The terrorists and their masterminds who committed this heinous massacre must be taught a lesson. All eyes are on the Modi government. On the diplomatic front, it has already taken actions like sending all Pakistani nationals back, putting the Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance, etc. Pakistan's response has made similar decisions like India. On ground, things still remain tense. 4 days since the attack, terrorists of the Pahalgam attack are still at large. Operations to hunt them down continue as we speak. Parallelly, Pakistan continues to violate ceasefire at multiple points at the line of control, or the LOC. Indian Army says Islamabad has resorted to unprovoked firings and that the Indian Army has retaliated appropriately. No casualties, of course, have been reported so far. Here in India, the opposition has backed the government and put up a united front to fight terrorism and those who committed the Pahalgam attack. But there are also questions that are being raised, like how were terrorists able to carry out this dastardly attack on Indian soil? Where was security? We have some answers from the government at this point. In this video, let's delve more into that aspect and questions on a possible intel lapse that led to the horrific terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir. Hello and welcome, I'm Shubham Chauhan. Let's get started. Now, this Pahalgam attack story is developing by the hour. There are several updates trickling in as we speak. We are recording this video on the evening of Saturday, 26th April. And before we get into the intel aspect, here are the latest developments at this hour. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has broken his silence on the Pahalgam attack in J&K. He said that Islamabad is prepared for any misadventure. Sharif also said that he was ready for a neutral and transparent investigation into the Pahalgam terror attack.
The recent tragedy in Pahalgam is yet another example of this perpetual blame game, which must come to a grinding halt. And now, continuing with its role as a responsible country, Pakistan is open to participate in any neutral, transparent, and credible investigation.
Sharif's statement comes at a time when India is upping the diplomatic ante. Reportedly, New Delhi has briefed the international community that establishes Pakistan's hand in the Pahalgam attack. Reports say India has provided technical intelligence and credible information about the attack that killed 26 innocent people. Now, for context, the Resistance Front, or TRF, which is a proxy for the Pakistan-based terror group Lashkar-e-Toiba, has claimed responsibility for the Pahalgam attack. Shehbaz Sharif's statement also comes after his own ministers refused to back down and continue with their anti-India rhetoric. His defense minister, Shehbaz Sharif, his defense minister, admitted to Sky News in an interview that Pakistan was doing dirty work for the West. In other words, harboring and protecting terrorists on their soil. Pakistan's External Affairs Minister Bilawal Bhutto threatened that either water will flow, that is in reference to the Indus Water Treaty decision of India, or the blood of Indians. He said either water will flow or the blood of Indians. Indian ministers, on their part, have shot back at the Pakistani ministers, saying that India is not afraid of Pakistan at all. On India pausing the Indus Waters Treaty, high-level meetings are taking place in New Delhi to decide the next course of action. The Indian Express reported that the government looked at the options available to utilize the waters of the Indus Basin rivers in the short, medium and long term. Jal Shakti Minister C.R. Patil said India will ensure that not a single drop of water reaches Pakistan. Meanwhile, Home Minister Amit Shah has spoken to all chief ministers of India, asking them to ensure no Pakistani or Bangladeshi national stays back in India beyond the deadline of 27th April. States like Bihar, Gujarat have already begun the process of deporting them. Overseas, the Indian diaspora has come together in this hour of grief. Protests took place in parts of UK and Australia. Anti-Pakistan chants and slogans condemning terrorism and the terror attack in J&K were raised. Now, on the intel aspect, what's been noteworthy and heartening to see post-Pahalgam attack is the unity between the opposition and the government. The Modi government and the opposition are on the same page, and the opposition is telling the government in as many words that they are backing them on whatever the government decides to do now. When was the last time you saw that play out in Indian politics, especially the visuals we saw? It's a rare sight in recent years. Times are such that dialogue between the two sides has almost broken down completely. But just this visual of the two sides coming together is of course heartening to see. Unfortunately, it's a tragedy that has united the two sides together. Nonetheless, as the country overcomes the grief of the 26 lives being lost in Pahalgam, one question was running on many minds. How was Baisaran Meadow left unguarded? How come terrorists could enter this scenic place, shoot down innocent civilians and leave without being caught? This was the question that even opposition parties asked the union government in the all-party meeting. More specifically, Home Minister Amit Shah. Like I said, at the all-party meeting, reports say the Home Ministry admitted that lapses had led to the Pahalgam terror attack. The government is believed to have told the opposition that local tour operators had opened the route for tourists without informing the administration. So as a result, there was no deployment of security personnel in the Baisaran area. And no prior deployment meant that, as is being reported, terrorists had a free hand. Indian authorities took at least 1 to 1.5 hours to reach the crime scene, which is the scene that is only accessible on foot. Baisaran is only accessible on foot. Remember, agencies like the CRPF, J&K Police, Law and Order as a subject, and security directly comes under J&K's Lieutenant Governor and the Union Home Ministry. The opposition was told that the Baisaran route is typically open for tourists in June, that is almost a month before the Amarnath Yatra. Reportedly, the government said this year, tour operators opened it as early as 20th April. This route was opened about a week back without the knowledge of the local authorities. But a story in the Hindu this morning adds an important detail. The newspaper spoke to a senior J&K government official, and this official said that Baisaran, which is the tourist spot, is open throughout the year except when it is snowing in J&K. The official added that as a result, police permission has never been sought. By the looks of it, this seems like a case of passing the buck and on a lapse that costed 26 lives. Of course, the priority currently remains to have a united front and back the government, which is under considerable pressure to retaliate against Pakistan. At the same time, questions on accountability on how this terror attack took place, despite all the assurances being given post the abrogation of Article 370, cannot be forgotten either. That's all we have for this report. And like I said, we'll keep tracking this story for you and get you all the latest developments. For that, you'll have to subscribe to HW News English and share this video as much as possible. Thanks for watching.